Finding the perfect home starts with REMAX.com, which features charming cottages, bungalows, homesteads, hideaways, and abodes. Conveniently located right in the heart of everywhere. Also includes 5 million bedrooms, 4 million bathrooms, plus every type of floor, staircase, fireplace, period detail, and some of the best schools anywhere. Find the listings you love and the agents who can get them at REMAX.com. That's the sign of a REMAX agent.
We have 1 week left on the Kansas side and 2 weeks left in Missouri. Here are the REMAX Big 3 games for Week 14. Let's start in Kansas, where all 3 games are state championship contests. The first game is the Class 6A game between Blue Valley North and Derby. This is a rematch of the 2017 and 2018 games. North won the first time and Derby followed then next. The Mustangs are looking for their second title in 4 years, while the Panthers are in the championship game for the 6th straight year and are looking for their 7th title in school history. North winners off an impressive 30-21 over Olathe North, where they overcame a 14-0 deficit to earn the win. The Mustangs' offense is potent, but its defense has been the story of the postseason, holding teams to 24 or less in all 4 games. Derby's offense will be a test as the Panthers have scored 62 points in 2 of their postseason wins. Look for this game to be a shootout as both offenses get going. Our next REMAX Big 3 game is the 5A championship between Mill Valley and Wichita Northwest. This is a rematch from last season when the Jaguars earned a 40-31 win. Mill Valley will be looking for its 4th title in 5 years, while the Grizzlies are back for their 3rd straight trip and are still looking for the first championship in school history. The Jaguars are riding high after a dominating 42-7 win over St. Thomas Aquinas in the semifinal round. Mill Valley's defense dominated the Saints, while the offensive line controlled the game when the Jaguars had the ball. This game should come down to which team is able to win the battle up front. If Mill Valley has a similar performance from last week, the Jaguars could be bringing home yet another state championship trophy. The final REMAX Big 3 game on the Kansas side is a matchup of teams that don't have any experience playing in the big game. St. James Academy takes on Arkansas City in a matchup of teams that have combined 10 losses on the season. Thunder may have 4 losses, but they played a tough schedule that saw them lose to Bishop Yage, Rockhurst, Aquinas, and Blue Valley in the regular season. In the postseason, St. James has used that experience to put together a dynamic run to its first ever state title game. The biggest win along the way came last week as the Thunder took out 6-time defending Class 4A champ Bishop Yage 36-35 in overtime to clinch their spot. Thunder's offense has been red hot during the playoffs, averaging 44.5 points in their 4-game run. Kansas City counters as the Cinderella story of the postseason. The Bulldogs are 2-6 after the regular season, but have ripped off 4 wins, including back-to-back 1-point victories over Wamego and McPherson. And this isn't Ark City's first trip to the championship game. It's been since 1986 since it played in one, with the only title coming in 1979. History will be made in the 4A final. Let's jump over to the Missouri side, where we have a championship game this week. Raymore Peculiar will head to Jefferson City to take on defending champ DeSmet in the Class 6 title game. This is a rematch of last year's semifinal, won by the Spartans 37-0. DeSmet is looking to repeat and earn its 3rd state title, while Ray-Pec is after its 4th state championship, but it's in its first state championship game since 2005, when the Panthers finished off a 3-peat in Class 5. Both teams are coming off hard-fought semifinals. DeSmet shut out Fox 13-0, while the Panthers beat Liberty North 24-17. This game could be a matchup of speed of DeSmet against the physicality of Ray-Pec. The Panthers have a good offense led by Conrad Hawley, but their defense has been key to this year's playoff run, stifling Lee Summit, Joplin, and Nixa before earning a tough battle with North last week. If the Panthers can avoid early trouble like last year's semifinal, they can look to grind out a win and bring the Class 6 title back to Kansas City for the first time in 5 years. Our next REMAX Big 3 game is a Class 4 semifinal as Smithville hosts Jefferson City Helias. The Young Warriors are back at the semis for the 2nd time in 3 years. In 2018, Smithville advanced to the Final Four, where they fell to MICDS. That veteran team had an impressive run in the playoffs, but this year's group has some achievements of its own. In Smithville's 3 games, they have outscored their opponents 123-0. That scoreless streak will be put to test this week as Helias brings in an offense that has scored 139 points in its 3 postseason games. This past week, the Crusaders were given the toughest test of the season in a 36-30 win over West Plains. If the Warriors' defense can hold the Helias offense in check, Smithville could be in its first state championship game since 1969. The final REMAX Big 3 game is Palmyra at St. Pius X. The Warriors' dream season continues with a semifinal game with a shot at the Class 2 title game on the line. Palmyra enters with a perfect 12-0 record, looking to advance to the state championship game for the 2nd time in school history. The only other time was in 2000, when the Panthers lost to St. Pius as the Warriors were on a run of 3 state titles in 5 years. Palmyra has been dominant most of the season, but will face a Pius defense that has been nasty throughout the playoffs, allowing just 12 points in 3 games. If the Warriors turn in another great defensive performance, they will punch their ticket to the title game and look to add to their rich football history.